You spend months studying algorithms, building portfolios, and passing interviews to finally land a job as a software engineer. But signing that offer letter is only step one of a much longer journey. Unlike traditional fields, the tech industry offers massive lateral and vertical mobility. You can pivot into entirely different coding specialties or climb straight up into leadership, often within the same company. That freedom creates a specific problem early on. The overwhelming number of choices you make today dictates your daily stress levels tomorrow and ultimately sets your long-term earning ceiling. As you climb, the work eventually shifts toward one of three specific focuses: individual technical mastery, large-scale systems design, or organizational leadership. These three focuses define your ultimate career endgame as either a master craftsman, a systems architect, or a business executive. Navigating to the right finish line depends on matching your personal temperament to a specific organizational role rather than simply picking a popular programming language. If you want to move from an entry-level coder to high-leverage leadership without burning out, you have to understand the complete software engineering skill tree. Everyone starts in the specialization phase, choosing between a few baseline disciplines. This dynamic comparison matrix breaks down the initial paths. Looking at the first row, front-end developers focus strictly on the user interface. They handle the look, the feel, and the visual layout of everything a user interacts with. But the matrix also shows the primary trade-off. Front-end engineers face constant framework churn. You have to continuously adapt to rapidly changing design libraries and ensure your code functions seamlessly across every possible device. Below that, the back-end developer handles the server side. They build the database design, write the server logic, and process secure payments or data integrations. The trade-off here is invisible work. Your daily contributions are hidden from the user, and they typically only get noticed during high-stress situations, like when a database goes down or a critical login system breaks. The third row belongs to the full-stack developer. This is a hybrid role that operates equally well in both client-side and server-side environments. Structurally, you can see the difference. Front and back-end paths offer deep, specialized mastery. Full stack gives you a wide, shallow column. You gain immense flexibility to build an app end-to-end, but you sacrifice that deep, niche expertise. If building direct product features doesn't appeal to you, you can shift toward the infrastructure engineers, the people who keep those products alive. A DevOps engineer sits between development and operations. They build the pipelines that release code and expedite the deployment of applications to live servers. In this role, you gain enormous systemic leverage over the entire organization. The cost is absorbing the high-stakes stress of live deployment management. If a release breaks production, it's on your shoulders to fix it. Then there is the security engineer. Their mandate is to safeguard software, networks, and raw data from hackers and cyber threats. Moving into security requires dropping the creative feature-building mindset. Your focus shifts entirely to defensive analysis, finding system vulnerabilities and anticipating attacks before they happen. You also have the data engineer. They store, organize, manage, and analyze massive amounts of information so leadership can make informed business decisions. Taking any of these infrastructure roles removes you from the visual interface, but it turns you into the critical backbone holding the company's technical stability together. Once you establish your horizontal coding specialty, your focus turns to vertical career progression, starting at the bottom of the ladder. As a junior developer, your first few years are spent acting as a sponge. You rely heavily on a team lead, asking questions and absorbing as much contextual information as possible. The trade-off during this phase is pure ego checking. You are expected to make mistakes publicly, accept heavy critique on your code, and strictly adhere to established best practices. This effort versus impact quadrant chart maps the next jump. You can see the junior node sitting in the low-impact, low-effort corner. After 2 to 3 years, you move up to the senior developer node, taking on complex, unstructured tasks and securing a higher salary. Notice the coding time metric dropping on the chart as the senior node rises. Transitioning from mentee to mentor means spending hours doing paired programming and teaching juniors, which directly reduces your own heads-down coding hours. Eventually, you hit a major career inflection point, the promotion to tech lead or team manager. Here, your daily routines change entirely. Watch the node on the chart shift rightward. As a tech lead, you move away from the isolated code quadrant and into the people and systems quadrant. You oversee the end-to-end development process, guide architectural decisions, and report directly to stakeholders. The chart updates to show the manager node pulsing with maximum effort and stress mapped against higher impact. You are now responsible for other people's well-being and career progression, which means sacrificing almost all of your daily coding habits. Advancing past the senior level forces a deliberate, often difficult choice. You have to stop building software yourself and start building the teams that build the software. For those individuals who push successfully past mid-level management, you enter the highest echelons of the tech ladder. As a technical architect, your mandate is to oversee enterprise system scaling. You dictate technical design across multiple teams, build processes, and work closely on client strategy. Above that is the Chief Technology Officer. You are the ultimate head of the organization's technological needs, responsible for aligning every piece of internal software with the company's business goals. At the C-suite level, coding becomes a hobby. You might write a script on the weekend to stay sharp, but your organizational value is now measured entirely by your technical foresight and strategic planning. At the absolute top of the tech industry, raw programming ability is just table stakes. Your ability to communicate and map out systemic vision becomes your primary currency. To figure out where you belong, look at this 4-box scorecard graphic. It maps out 4 distinct personas: the craftsman, the generalist, the architect, and the executive, to help you match your temperament to a trajectory. If you prefer deep, uninterrupted focus and hate sitting in meetings, you align with the craftsman. Stay on the specialist track as an individual contributor and accept that your salary will eventually hit a ceiling. If you thrive on variety and enjoy client-facing problem-solving, you are the generalist. Embrace the full stack path and lean into consulting or agency work. If you care more about systemic scale and business outcomes than writing the actual logic, you are the executive. You should pursue the CTO track or pivot entirely into product management. There is no single correct ladder in software engineering. There is only the specific path that optimizes for the daily trade-offs you are most willing to make.